You're watching That Lovell-Boland Life.
And this week we're talking all about the UK.
If this is the first time you're seeing our faces on YouTube, I'm Sam and this is my wife Rianne.
Now we've lived in Southeast Asia for a good 7 years, but we're both born and originally raised in the UK.
Yeah, so in this video we wanted to go through 10 reasons why we miss our homeland. But don't fret, we aren't planning on moving home just yet.
Before we get into it, please do give this video a big thumbs up. It just helps others find us who may find it useful, and do consider subscribing if you haven't already. Right, let's get into it.
So we'll start with the obvious, family and friends. So we're quite lucky as expats here in Singapore because we do actually have family here. Rianne's got cousins. When we lived in Malaysia, obviously we had family because Rianne's mum lives there, and she really helped set us up when we first moved, and that really helped get established in a new country. But the bulk of our family do still live in the UK.
Yeah, and of course the majority of our friends, of course, we grew up there, as we mentioned, went to school, so we have lots of different friends living over there. Number 2 on the list is seasons. So for us, of course, living in Singapore, there are only 2 seasons, which is rainy and summer, which it pretty much is most of the year. And for me, one thing I do really miss about seasons is kind of knowing times of the year. I know it sounds strange, but it does kind of blur how long the year has been, and you just kind of, it's nice to look back on being like, oh, that was in autumn, or that was in spring, or whatever, because you kind of don't get that sense of time moving on. So for me, seasons is a real big thing, and I think for you, even more so.
Yeah, just pegging on to what Rianne said though, like we're filming this in February, this is going to go out in February, it's hot. When we filmed our Christmas video, it was hot. When we will do like stuff in the summer, it will be hot. So yeah, I really miss the winter because, as you can probably see, when we do these videos, even when we're inside, we have the fans, we have the aircon, I perspire. So one thing I really miss is winter, and I do miss the seasons too. Number 3, quite a big thing for a British person, the NHS. Now the reason why this isn't a comparison video, and this is things that we miss about the UK, is that Singapore does have a good comparable health system, but as Brits, as people who lived there for 25 years of our lives, we do miss having the free to use, free at the point of access NHS healthcare.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Sam mentioned, it's nothing in comparison to Singapore because the healthcare we've received here is fantastic. But of course it does come at an expense. Not to say that the NHS doesn't, we do pay into our national insurance, but it is just something that you can rely on, you can go if you have an accident or whatever it may be, that you're covered. Number 4 on our list, pubs. So apart from family and friends, I'd have to say that the pub is one of the things I really miss the most. And I know that probably makes me sound like an alcoholic, but it's such a real community, a real place to gather in social settings. You have your Sunday lunch there, you can have your Friday night drinks, and that's probably where I met my friends the most during our time when we lived in the UK. Not so much clubbing or, going to bars. The pub is a real cozy place where you can just have a great chat with friends.
Yeah, it's a really different vibe to the bars that you get in Singapore and Malaysia and all across Southeast Asia, because it just feels completely different. One of the best things that we did when we were in the UK, we didn't know whether to go to the pubs because of COVID, but we were just like, let's just do it, let's just go. Sat in the beer gardens, Rianne said, and the pints were so cheap, like £2?
I think so,
£2 a pint.
We just sat there with the winter hats on, we were like, you know what, doesn't matter, it's cheap.
Number 5 is all about history and tradition. So as a massive history buff, I love learning about the places that I live in, and we are learning more and more about Singapore history as we live here, but you cannot deny that in the UK you've got everything, like the towns you live in, everything around you, there's just history surrounding you.
Yeah, I mean, even the town which I grew up in, which is called Lovell-Boland, it has an iconic church which is called St. Mary's Church. And I didn't even realise, I just Googled it just now, it was actually built in 1250 and it's still, you know, run as a main church today in 2022, which is incredible that how many hundreds of years it stood in the same position. Number 6 on our list is accessibility to arts and culture. The UK has a huge arts and culture scene, which is definitely something we took advantage of when we lived in London. You know, we would go to the Science Museum, the British History Museum, they're all free and open to the public, which is amazing. And we definitely loved going to visit. You know, we would go on dates or just, you know, when people came from abroad, we would take them to show them just how accessible everything is there. And that's not to say that there isn't all this arts and culture in Singapore. We love going to the theatre, and I think we would probably go to more museums if it wasn't for the high price in some of them.
Number 7 is football and sport. Now, one thing I love doing on weekends and one thing I really miss from the UK is watching football. When we were back at Christmas, I took my dad to Blackburn, or he took me, he drove me. We were going to go to Peterborough, but COVID, but we used to go. Yeah,
we used to go to Arsenal, the Emirates Stadium with my dad, who had season tickets, so that was a real fun thing. I mean, I'm not particularly a football fan, I don't support any team in particular, but going to the stadium and hearing the roar of the crowd, especially when there was a goal, it really was quite exciting. And even I, who am not a football fan, as I said, really enjoyed it. Number 8 on the list is countryside walks. So I grew up in the countryside, and it's something that I really get so much pleasure from countryside walks, which is kind of ironic because when I was growing up, I hated it, and I was like, no, my parents would always try and drag me walking, and I was like, nah, I'm not going. But now, as an adult, it's something that I find so blissful and zen. Over the Christmas period, I went walking with my dad, and it was such a good way to recharge, just get into that kind of mental headspace of just relaxing.
Number 9 on the list is English chocolate. So one thing I load up my suitcase with when I'm coming back from the UK to Singapore is English chocolate, be it your Dairy Milks, your Galaxies, your Terry's Chocolate Orange, as Rianne just showed, because the chocolate in this region, it is nice, but there is something in it for the hot country that just means it just doesn't melt the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, as Sam said, with the Terry's Chocolate Orange, I think we have about 10 loaded up in our fridge right now because it's something that we really enjoy. We were able to find it in Mustafa Department Centre before, but I guess now with COVID and supply chain issues, it's just impossible to find them. So it is something that we do. It's just a little taste of home, which we really love. And the last thing on our list is diverse cities. Over in the UK, there are officially 66 different cities, and they all really do have their own taste and feel to them. So not one city doesn't feel quite the same as the other, and I think that's a real treat to have that. So we lived in London, but we kind of grew up near Cambridge, which is a completely different vibe as well, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, completely different places, different accents, different ways of living. Like in the north, I find the people are friendlier, they're nicer, they're more generous with their time.
Everyone knows everyone up in the north, and even I guess more in a town setting as well. But I guess what I kind of enjoy about going to different cities, like I have a best friend who lives in Brighton, which is by the beach, and it's a completely different vibe. It's very hippie, relaxed, and I love that about that city.
Yeah, but The one thing we really love, and we're going to apologise now, is the accent. So Rianne's got family in Liverpool, and they sound...
Liverpool? They sound a bit like that, you know? Apologies for the people if you're watching from Liverpool, but yeah, we do enjoy the regional accents around.
Yeah, like if you're in Wales, you go to the valleys and you speak like that. You speak like you're from Wales, Cardiff, all those fantastic places. Yeah. Although that was like more of a Jamaican little thing in the end.
Yeah, but yeah, it's something that we definitely enjoy trying to achieve in our regional accents.
Thank you so much for watching. They were our 10 reasons why we miss living in the UK.
Yeah, thank you for indulging us and letting us take a little trip down memory lane.
Now, as we said at the start of the video, we aren't moving home anytime soon.
No, absolutely. We really love Singapore. We love calling it our home. I think from our other videos, you can see that we love exploring and eating all the food.
So thank you again for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a massive thumbs up. It really helps us. It really helps spread it to other people, to new people, to hopefully new subscribers. And if you aren't subscribed, please do consider subscribing to the channel.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you. And just a little thing, if you have visited the UK and you enjoyed the cities, do let us know in the comments which city you went to and why you enjoyed it. Right, we'll catch you on the next one.